Hello everyone, welcome to the course on Universal Human Values. Today's class will discuss about Module 4, that is Harmony in the Nature or Existence. So these are the department vision and mission. These are the content, and today we're discussing about self exploration and self regulation in nature. How it can be, we can have the self regulation in nature. Okay, so these are the textbooks to be referred. So, the self regulation and mutual fulfillment among the four orders of nature. So, there is self regulation in nature. It does not need to be regulated by human being to be in harmony. With right understanding, human being will also be self organized. So, in harmony within and participate in the harmony in the largest order. Even now, we can observe that water evaporates from the sea. Clouds forms, they are dispersed far and wide over the surface of the earth. There is rain, streams, overground rivers, underground aquifers. All are participating in a water cycle. So year after year, definite seasons can be observed. But the distribution of water can be observed. Does it need any human intervention? And we can see this. It's a cyclic and mutually enriching process that is called self-regulated by way of nature. So, in a forest, the proportion of soil, plants, and animals of various species is self regulated. It never happened that the lions eat up all the deer, or the deer eat up all the grasses, or that plants grow to the extent that there is no space for deer, or that there is lack of soil for new plants, and so on. Temperature of the human body remains at around 37 degrees centigrade, even though people may be living with ambient temperature varying widely, sometimes as much as plus 45 degrees centigrade to minus 10 degrees centigrade. It's by the way of the self regulation in nature. So, in a similar way, we can take many examples. The earth maintains a range of temperature naturally. The gender ratio in human beings is nearly constant at approximately 1 is to 1, male female. Birds' eggs hatch just when the caterpillars are in abundance, and so on. So, with right understanding, the human beings can be the most fulfilling units in nature. We can take a few examples. We can use solar power, plant based fuels in place of petroleum and coal. There are many efforts in this direction. The wood from four full grown trees could suffice of fulfilling all the needs of one human being in terms of wood. There are many examples of single individuals regenerating entire forest. Each of us can plant many more than 4 trees in lifetime, isn't it? So by maintaining adequate forest and grassland, we can ensure a conducive environment for the birds and animals also. Like that, we can play the role of being fulfilling for all orders. For that, we have to understand nature, understand the four orders, which is what we intend to do next. So, understanding the four orders, we can look at the basic identifications and properties of each of the four orders, that is based on which the units have been classified. So, we can see the details of the four orders. For example, units in that order, like second column, their activity, third column, their inherent innateness, fourth column, their natural characteristics, fifth column, and the basis of their patterns of inheritance, the last column. So here we can see activity in four orders. Each order is characterized by certain activities. The units of the physical order are characterized by the activity of formation and deformation. For example, if a piece of iron is left exposed to the air, you may notice that after a period of time it gets rusted. What is happening here? Iron gets converted into iron oxide in the presence of oxygen and moisture. Thus, iron oxide was formed and iron, oxygen, and water were deformed. To take another example, when hydrogen and oxygen combine together at a certain temperature and pressure, water is produced. So, in this case, there is formation of water and deformation of hydrogen and oxygen. Through the activities of formation and deformation, one unit of the physical order gets converted into another unit of the physical order. So, whereas in case of bioorder, in addition to formation and deformation, the activity of respiration is also taking place. In a plant, for example, the activities of formation and deformation keep happening. Many chemical reactions keep taking place, leading to various changes. New molecules and cells are formed, while others are degenerated. Along with this, plants also exhibit the activity of respiration. In the process of respiration, something is inhaled and something is exhaled by the plant. But it would be difficult to find a single plant that does not have the activity of respiration. At the same time, it would be difficult to find a single piece of iron or any unit of the physical order that exhibits the activity of respiration. So, coming to the animal order, it's a coexistence of the self and the body. What is the indication of the presence of the self in animals and or birds? We, while discussing the human being as a being a coexistence of self and body, we can see that the response of a body is only in terms of recognizing and fulfilling, whereas a response of the self is in terms of at least assuming, recognizing, and fulfilling. Activity of assuming is the basic indication that a self is associated with that body. So the response changes with a change in its assumption. So if you purchase a dog from the market and provide him necessary food and shelter for few days, it starts distinguishing between you and other people. When you enter the house, it starts wagging its tail, but when someone else comes, it may start barking. What has happened here? The assumption of the dog about you has changed within the few days that you have been providing food for it. It will now recognize you as a friend, while others are assumed to be strangers. So, change in response has happened because of a change in assumption. The assumption is an indicator of the presence of the self. So, such a change in response due to the change in assumption is not observed in plants, right? So, now talking about the human order, human being, a unit of the human order. Human being is the coexistence of self and body. The human body also is a unit of the bioorder. Therefore, it has the activities of formation, deformation, and respiration. Many cells are being formed every day in our body. A wide range of proteins and hormones are continuously being formed in the body. And of course, this process also involves the deformation of several other compounds. Like every cell is taking something in and releasing something out. So, there is respiration taking place. This can also be seen at the level of organs, at the level of whole body, when it comes to the self associated with the human body. The activities of imaging, comparing, analyzing, tasting, selecting can be observed. The activity of selecting here is not only to keep the body in good health, but more than that, for happiness. So, we have already discussed earlier that this need for happiness is fulfilled by right understanding and right feeling, but not by physical facility. The innate need to know can be observed in any child. It asks so many questions about all sort of things. Human being also has the potential to know, potential for right understanding and right feeling, potential for continuous happiness. That is why we have been saying that for human being, right understanding is the highest priority, followed by relationship, right feeling, and the third priority is physical facility. Of course, all three are required. Right understanding basically means awakening to the activities of realization, of understanding, and of contemplation, or one's participation in the larger order. So, this needs to know, and the potential to know is the core differentiating factor between human being and the animal at the level of self. So, in this way, all the four orders can be distinguished in terms of their activities, and this is one way in which the units of nature can be classified. Innateness of the four orders. So, we have discussed the activity of four orders. Coming to the innateness of four orders, the third column, which describes the innateness of each order, innateness is the definite self organization. So, here you can see, by virtue of its definite self organization, the unit exhibits a definite conduct or property. A unit and its innateness are inseparable. So each order has a definite innateness, which is the distinguishing property of that order. So every unit is bound to have the innateness specific to the order that it belongs to. Innateness of the physical order is existence. So it means that it exists in a definite order. It's a reality and has a definite order. It exists and continues to exist. So at most it is converted into another unit of the physical or bio order, but it does not get destroyed. Every unit of the physical order has this innateness. It exists in a definite order with a definite conduct. For example, a piece of iron, it's a unit of the physical order, right? So it remains as a piece of iron unless it gets converted into something else, maybe by the way of formation and deformation, the activity that characterizes this physical order. Even after the formation, deformation, every atom continues to exist. So thus, if we have 1 kg of iron, over the years it will remain 1 kg only. So if it is protected properly from rusting, it will have the definite conduct of iron, and it will continue to exhibit that conduct unless some formation and deformation takes place. So let us see this innateness of units in bioorder. A plant has the innateness of existence as well as growth. Though so thus a plant exists as a plant, it also grows. A mango tree that is 1 kg now may become 10 kg after 1 year. It will continue to be a mango tree. It will grow. Any unit of the bioorder like plants, trees, animal body, human body, all of them exhibit their innateness to exist and to grow. But this is not the case in physical order, right? So, and when we look at the animal order, we can observe the self and the body separately, because unit of the animal order is the coexistence of both self and body. Animal body has the innateness of existence and growth just like plants and trees. So self of the animal has an innate that will live to live. A self of every animal and bird, every unit of the animal order has a will to live. It wants to live. So that is its innateness. So we can observe that animals and birds nurture and protect their body. They search for food that is conducive for their body. So coming to the human order, human being is also a coexistence of self and body. At the level of the body, the innateness is existence and growth. Human body takes birth, grows, passes through various stages from childhood, adolescence, adulthood, becomes old and dies. This is similar to any animal body or a plant. But at the level of self, the human being has a will to live with continuous happiness. So this is the innateness, the self-organization at the level of self of the human being. The will to live with continuous happiness is an integral part of the self of the human being and cannot be separated from it. So, if we want to say some of the natural characteristics of the four orders, physical order is composition, decomposition. Bio order participates with bio order in terms of nurturing or worsening the other. It's easy to see that the apple fruit, some plant in sufficient quantity worsens the human body. So the plant that nurtures the body of a goat may not be suitable for human being. So like this, the units of bioorder participate by nurturing or worsening the other units of bioorder. And when it comes to animal order, we can see that natural characteristic of both body of the animal as well as the self of the animal. Body is a unit of bioorder, but it participates like it is described. It is in terms of nurturing or worsening other units of bioorder. When it comes to self of the animal, it participates way of cruelty or non-cruelty with other units of animal order. Animals like lion, tiger, hyenas, etc., they participate in the way of cruelty. It means they fulfill their needs by eating the body of other animals. Animals like cows and sheep participate with non-cruelty. They fulfill their needs without the force or violence. Natural characteristic of animal order is cruelty and non-cruelty. Whereas in case of human order, The human being is the coexistence of self and body. Body belongs to the bioorder and hence has natural characteristics of the bioorder. So, inheritance of the four orders. Units of physical order maintain their conduct by way of constitution. For example, piece of iron, it will show the definite conduct of iron as long as its constitution remains unchanged. So, its conduct will also not change if it is maintained. But if the iron is changed, obviously its conduct will also change. So the addition of very minute amounts of carbon, nickel and chromium to the iron, it changes its constitution. So it forms a new material itself called steel. So the conducts of iron and steel are very different. But change in constitution or composition, the components, has led to a change in conduct. So the conduct of the units of physical order is based on their constitution. So as long as the constitution of the unit is maintained, its conduct is maintained. Coming to bioorder, the continuity of the conduct is maintained by the way of seed. As long as the seed is preserved, conduct of the plant is also preserved. So we can say that inheritance of the bioorder is seed based. If we plant a mango seed, it gives rise to a mango tree. Tree further give rise to mango fruits and therefore mango seeds. Quality of the seed decides the conduct of the plant. Animal order is ensured by the way of its breed. As long as the breed of animal is preserved, its conduct is maintained. Calf of a cow is bound to be a cow and its conduct will be like that of a cow. It will eat grass. Similarly, cub of a lion is bound to be a lion and it will eat flesh. So this is how the tradition of various animals is maintained over many thousands of years. But the inheritance of the animal order is breed based. As long as its breed is preserved, its conduct is ensured. Human order, how, what about the human being? How is the conduct of a human being maintained? Is it based on breed like animals? If the father is a vegetarian, will the child necessarily be vegetarian? If the mother is wise, will the child also be wise by default? Not necessarily. We can easily see many examples of children and of unwise parents becoming wise, also vice versa. A child's parents may not have ever gone to school, but the child may go on to become an engineer, doctor, and so on. So we can see that body of the child has similar features as the parents. If the mother is tall and dark, the child may also be tall and dark. If father has curly hair, the child may also have curly hair. Body of the child is based on the breed, but the conduct is not. So, what decides the conduct of a human being if it is not based on the breed? That is what we must understand, explore. So, it is the conduct of human being is ensured by the way of education they get, the way and sanskar, what we call. Human being given human education and sanskar will live with definite human conduct. On the other hand, inhuman education and sanskar gives rise to indefinite unhuman conduct. So we can conclude that inheritance of human order is education, sanskar. Thank you.